Hope everybody is doing well today. I am proud this morning to be in the Blue Hills neighborhood. We will also be talking about Town Fork Creek, so many other neighborhoods here in Kansas City's 5th District, 3rd District, and here on the east side of Kansas City. In this building and in this area, we have seen reinvestment over the years, but we have seen an ongoing challenge, and that is the divide that we built with 71 Highway in our community. Today is something where we talk about reconnecting. Reconnecting communities has been a policy goal of this city for some time, but we are blessed to have the support of the Biden administration and the United States government in connection with a competitive RAISE grant that has allowed us to begin work anew. When I was first elected to the city council, I talked to the previous at-large councilman for this area, Lee Barnes, and I said, is there something we can do? And what we always used to talk about was, how do we find some way to get the resources, the study, the public works time, and more to make sure there was something we can do. Well, today we are excited to talk about a milestone in change, to right the wrongs that we have seen in the past on Kansas City's east side. Kansas City will now work with a group by the name of HG Consult, which is comprised of WSP, a global engineering firm, Burns & McDonnell, locally based, and others that make up a 50% disadvantaged business enterprise participation to create a plan and a vision to put the 71 Highway project on a path to improvement in the years ahead. And why do we care about making that improvement? Just a little bit away from us right now, we see many of the city's most dangerous intersections. We see where we have had people killed in accidents, we have had people injured, we see public safety challenges, we see environmental challenges. Children in this area suffer from higher asthma rates, and anybody who has ever tried to walk across the highway understands just how frustrating and challenging it is. Sometimes when I think about my time growing up in Kansas City, I feel like I was uniquely blessed to be mayor because I was one of those families that moved around all the time. So a chunk of my life was living off of 6613 Askew, just off of 69th and Prospect, and so many other areas, and seeing how the highway was an impediment to getting across the highway to the library, getting across the highway to the park, and any number of other challenges along the way, or trying to go the other direction. This gives us a chance to try to make a difference today, and I'm proud of everyone who was part of applying for that project. That includes the city councilman for this district at large, Darrell Curls, who has come into office hitting the ground running, realizing that there are changes that need to be made and doing them every week at city council. Our public works director, Michael Shaw, and his team, who, when we said, Michael, we want y'all to just figure something out, they are doing it. And our neighborhood leaders like Miss Darlene, who have said for years that even though there were mistakes made in the past, we can do right by the people who live in this community and these neighborhoods. People may ask, all right, so what's the goal? What are we going to do eventually? The goal is this, that we see in more situations people actually driving through our communities to shop, to stop, to invest. We want to see more walking and pedestrian-friendly opportunities long term. And we want a community not just to be characterized by the highway that cuts through, but of the neighborhoods that have been part of this community for generations. Those are the steps that we will take. We're working with MoDOT, the United States government, the city of Kansas City, our neighborhood associations, and our community. For those who have questions, we'll be getting out in the community more and more, having neighborhood convenings to make sure we hear from you about what you want, what business development you want. And we will make sure that this dovetails with our investment on the Prospect Corridor long term. This is the city doing right. This is not a project that's going to get a lot of clicks forever, like stadium conversations and everything under the sun, but I think candidly it's a lot more important. So thank you all for being here. I turn it over to Councilman Darrell Curls, who will be followed by Ms. Darlene, followed by Michael Shaw. Thank you all so much.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you all for coming out this morning. As the mayor mentioned, this is an opportunity to right a wrong. Although when this project was established, it was to expedite traffic downtown from South Kansas City. In the process of that, they didn't realize a lot of the things that was going to take place afterwards. So I'm pleased that this grant has been allocated to Kansas City. I am happy for the neighborhoods and for the community, because you are going to start seeing a lot more things happen in regards to the corridor that is Prospect. Prospect is the main backbone of the African American community, and it has been decimated since this project has been in place. So I'm hoping that you'll start seeing more businesses come back. You'll start seeing more homes being revitalized, as well as you'll start seeing the safety aspect of this highway change. This highway happens to have the three most fatalities in the state, which is in Kansas City and in my district. That is something I cannot live with. That is something that this community cannot live with. So we're going to make sure, from a city council perspective and from the mayor's help and from Public Works and everybody that's been involved with this project, that we right this wrong and we help make this community become more thriving and a much better community than what it has been in the past. I look forward to working with the community. This project has community engagement involved, which is going to be something that didn't happen when this project first came about. So the community will have opportunity to share with those individuals that will be instrumental in redeveloping this project to make sure that their input is heard. So I look forward to that. I look forward to a change in this community, in this road, and I'm here to serve as best as I can to make sure that we achieve that goal. Thank you all for coming out.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, council members. Thank you, everyone, for coming out today. We're always excited when everyone comes into our neighborhood. Oftentimes, our neighborhood is separated from the mainstream, so we're always excited to let you know that we are here, we are thriving, and the discussions about 71 Highway has been something that's been near and dear to our hearts. I grew up in this neighborhood, so I remember when my friends were displaced. Their homes were, it took years for the homes to really be torn down or for anything to be built up. So it was a long time coming. When 71 Highway came through, we were, it was kind of a bittersweet, because it was a way to get people into downtown and help keep the city growing and moving. But unfortunately, we had folks that were displaced, homes that were torn down, a lot of blight happened in our neighborhood, and it still is a lot of blight in our neighborhood. So I'm here to kind of challenge the folks in the neighborhood, our residents and our community members, to get involved. The mayor and the city has given us an opportunity to have our input as to what is going to happen to 71 Highway, and I do hope that it will be able to connect us even more, because I'm in Town Fork Creek neighborhood and we're split between 71 Highway. We've got a little bit on Prospect, and Prospect is a corridor that I sure hope to see thrives and builds. So thank you very much.
Good morning, Michael Shaw, Director of Public Works. First and foremost, you have to give credit to our leadership, our city council, for having the vision and the foresight to really push this issue and give us the support we needed to go out and get the grant that has been received. The idea behind what we're going to do is to be a collaboration between community and government to actually heal the wounds of days past. And how do we do that? We do that through working and engaging and understanding what the outcomes are. What are our challenges? We have some of the most dangerous intersections in the state of Missouri on this highway. We have high asthma rates and high rates of morbidity in terms of people's life expectancies a lot lower along this corridor. Economic disinvestment, lost economic, generational wealth has been lost through this project. And probably one of the things that is less talked about is highways are the most, where you find the most litter amongst any community is in and around highways, and it goes right through these communities. So living in and around blight. So we can actually do something to solve several problems by actually addressing this one infrastructure that's here. We did obviously awarded to HG, award this contract to HG. Significant amount of community engagement is going to be involved. So we really are going to be looking for the community to be highly engaged in the solution. Without the community, we cannot solve this problem, because this solution is for this community. And we'll be glad to answer any questions that you may have. I know Mr. Mayor has got a lot of answers.
I do want to note one thing, and I thank Darlene Guest for giving us the historical context. I encourage all of y'all to look at this poster board and think about the people in the houses that were there. And I wasn't alive for the time when the houses were sitting there like a ghost town. But my family lived here, and we're talking about how for years, and you talk about how things become the way they are now, If you have just a dead neighborhood sitting somewhere that tells people y'all should go somewhere else, and so much of our community, particularly our black community of the time, left Kansas City altogether, Grandview, Lee Summit, so many other spots, and how we are, I know Councilman Curls and I work on this every day, trying to get people to come back and take a look. And I hope this is a big part of all of that. I also really want to thank our staff. If it's not clear, this was a competitive program, a very competitive program among American cities. And so it was hard work by them and others to make sure we wrote this out. The final thing I will say is actually a few weeks ago, Councilman Curls, I think, gave some impassioned comments in a city council legislative debate about the 670 bridge cap downtown. Fine enough, meritorious project, but he made the note of we need to have that type of investment in the 5th District and the 3rd District. That's why we're here today. And my hope is that our work continues so we are getting those types of dollars, that type of investment. And frankly, downtown, we have been blessed by public-private partnership, several tens of millions of dollars invested from the private sector. You know, a lot of people talk about diversity. A lot of people talk about investment in communities. I invite our business community partners to be stakeholders in the work that we will do here as well to make sure that everybody is investing in making Kansas City better long term. Thank y'all. Enjoy this absolutely glorious day. Appreciate you.